Hey everybody, welcome to the crypto chart update for December 10th, 2017. Today we're going to talk about Bitcoin's crash and can it bounce back? Is this the end of the bubble or are we going higher? And what's the impact of futures going into the end of the year? As always, I'm your host Tim, a retail investor and journalist, and this crypto chart update is where I analyze the latest charts using technical analysis, hopefully giving you better skills to make better trades based on proper risk management and good stops and entry points. As always, guys, you can find my own blog on tradingview.com under the name Berlin Trader 591, as well as Twitter under the name Berlin Trader 591. As always, please leave me a comment below the video, ask me a question, send me a private message about my analysis or with a question or a chart you want me to update. And most importantly, if you have a Bitcoin to spare, please send me a tip or click through one of the links that I have below this video using one of my brokers or software or hardware wallets that I can actually recommend, because I use Trezor, I use Ledger Nano, I use Coinbase, I use TradingView. I use a lot of different services because, to be honest, I think it's important to spread around your risk as well as just be familiar with what's going on. So below this video, check out those links or send me a tip to one of those wallets with Bitcoin or Litecoin or Ethereum, and it's very much appreciated. And remember, most importantly, that this video is only for entertainment purposes. These are not actually trading ideas that you should use unless you know what you're doing, and please talk with your registered financial advisor before making any decisions. But let's get into the chart, guys. So here's Bitcoin, the 60-minute chart. And on the 7th, about 3 days ago, we hit a high on Coinbase of almost 20,000, 19,600. That was an incredible run that we saw last week. Bitcoin went from 11,000 to 18,000 basically in 2 or 3 days. Just an insane run. And that was what appears to be a buy the rumor, sell the news event. And if you're not familiar with that, that means that people buy in anticipation of a news event, and that news event is today, and that is the release of the futures by the CBOE or the CBO, and that's happening today, December 10th. And before that, we saw a run up in buying. At the end of November, we saw another run up at the post Thanksgiving kind of buying rush, and since the 7th, we've seen a pullback, and I would ascribe that to people taking profits as well as people selling the news. So people don't want to be in this market with this event, and people are nervous about that event. And a lot of people, I know personally, a lot of people got out of their trades because they were worried what might happen when the futures are released. And today we're seeing a pop in Bitcoin, and probably that's because the futures have come in to the market, or they're going to be traded today, and nothing has really happened, that nothing violently bad has happened, so people are buying back into the market. But also, you know, the price came back from 18,000 to 13,000, and to be honest, I bought a little around 14,000 as well, because I mean, after pulling back 4,000 points, almost 20 to 25%, it just seemed like a nice little place to buy in, have a little position, and we've seen a nice little bounce. And I've taken a bit of profits already at this support level here. And right now on the 60-minute chart, we had this breakdown triangle here, and we broke through there. We came up, retested, came down again, and now we've broken back through that level again. And basically this level was support, then it was resistance, and now we've broken through it again. So if this level can become support again, then if we hold that, we should head up higher, maybe retest those highs at 17,000, 18,000, where I would probably take profits again. Are we going to get out? Are we going to break out of that level? I mean, recently we've just been breaking through levels like nobody's business, but I would probably expect a pullback from there. Who knows? Maybe it goes deeper, but eventually I think we're going to break out, because again, we are in a bullish trend. Look at that 200-day, 200 moving average on the 60, right? 200 periods, it's going up. If we go to the 4-hour, right? If we go to the 4-hour chart and we check out that 200-day, we're a little farther away from it, but here we are again. Oops, 1 second, probably get the pen here. right? That 200-day is coming up. Now we're very far away from that 200-day. I mean, the 200-day, the 200 period there is at 9,000, and if we look on the daily chart, we're even farther away from that 200-day. And we haven't touched that 200-day since back in April or even further. I mean, last time we touched the 200-day moving average on the daily chart was, geez, how far back was that? Man, back in October 2015. That's the last time we touched that 200-day. Since then, we've really bounced off of it or not even come close. So right now we are really pulling away from that 200-day. So I would expect price to fall back at some point. When is that going to be? I don't know. But if we reach 12,000, I'd buy a little. If we reach 10,000, I'd buy a little. If we come back down to 8,000, I would buy a little more. Because I think if we get down to 8,000, we definitely are going to see a strong bounce. But yeah, that hasn't happened yet. We're still, this is not a strong correction, even though it feels crazy. We only came down 20% to 13,000. So what can we expect? Well, some further consolidation, maybe a retest of those highs. It will be really interesting to see with futures coming into play if price does crash down to those support levels, or if price does break out to new highs. I guess that's what everyone's waiting for, and I think no one really knows. So we're just going to look for the signs. Right now we're kind of going sideways. I would say there's not really a great trade in here at the moment, unless you're playing kind of a smaller time frame, kind of day trading around this, and you can use kind of these support levels here as a border. If we're above that, we can be long. If we're below that, we want to be short or out of our position. Let's check out Ethereum. To be honest, Ethereum is so far still my biggest disappointment. Just waiting for that leg higher. I mean, you can see that prediction I made. We've broken out of that 400 level, which was holding us back for a long time, and we've just hovered above that. And to be honest, I don't like sitting up here mulling around above 400. I really would like to see a stronger breakout and head up to 600, head up to 700, because all the other coins have seen price rises, but except for Ethereum. Ethereum has really just gone sideways after breaking out, which is kind of curious considering it's one of the main players, because all the main players, Dash, Litecoin, and Bitcoin, saw big price rises. So it is interesting that Ethereum is just kind of going sideways here. It just doesn't have the interest yet, and I feel like it's just waiting for some kind of news. If we can get some kind of catalyst for Ethereum, then we'll take off. But until then, we might just go sideways a bit and consolidate some more. But as long as we are above that 410 level, we're safe. But if we break below that 400 level, then there's a lot of space below to crash into. But if we can hold that level and see some rounding, some strength moving upward, then that's a positive. And yeah, right now I have a big position in there, hoping for that breakout. As long as we stay above 400, we can be long for our first target 599 and our second target 667, and that's based on the Fibonacci retracement of that consolidation range. Let's check out Bitcoin Cash. Bitcoin Cash here, Kraken maybe, or so many different exchanges. Okay, this is Poloniex, Bitcoin Cash, and we've seen, yeah, we saw that big run up. So this is against Bitcoin. Let's go against dollar here. Yeah, we saw that breakout back in late October, and we've just basically gone sideways since then. So what are we looking for? We're looking for a breakout of this triangle, either to the downside or to the upside. If it breaks out of that upward sloping trend line, then we can be long to 2400. Those old highs would probably be good. Let's check out the large caps like Litecoin. Litecoin, picture perfect. If anyone played this, nice rounding bottom here, bounced off of that trend line, and I was really surprised, but it made it up to that trend, almost perfect. Isn't that beautiful? Literally tapped this trend line and fell back. So that shows you how good technical analysis can be, right? I mean, you could have played that to the trend line and taken profits around that trend line. To be honest, I didn't think it would get past here because those were the old highs. And then after that, there were the fib levels, and we actually made it in 2 days. We made it up to that trend line, which is incredible. Really doubled, 100% increase in 2 days. That was incredible. So kudos to anyone who got that move. I caught a piece of it, but I didn't get the whole thing, but that's how it works. Remember, if you played that, then you would have gotten in when it broke out of those old highs, and your stop would have been just underneath. And let's say your stop could have been $4 and your target would have been this trend line, or let's say 180, so your target would have been about 80. So an 80 to 4 reward to risk is pretty insane. So you could lose on that quite a few times and still make money. So yeah, that's the kind of reward to risk ratio that you want. Remember, you want something at least more than 3 to 1 or 4 to 1, but in this case we had an 80 to 4 or 20 to 1 reward to risk ratio. That was yeah, pretty good one there. So we're at the top of this range. So I mean, getting in now is probably not the best odds for return. Your risk now is this whole space here, and your reward, jeez, I can't say anything, is up there. So right now your risk to reward is maybe like 60, risking 60 to make 40. So you actually have a 3 to 2 risk to reward, and yeah, that means you have to win a lot to make money. So I wouldn't go in on such a poor risk to reward. So that means, yeah, take your profits here, wait for Litecoin to come back down to that trend line, and reload around 100 or around 80. I'm sure we're going to get back down there at some point. Dash also had an amazing run, similar to Litecoin here. Didn't quite make it up to that trend line yet. We could still head up there. But, I mean, man, we got out of that consolidation range, which we called perfectly. It was a beautiful play, right off of this trend line, breaking out of that consolidation. And again, to be honest, I took profits at the old highs here. I took profits at 161, but after that I was out of the trade. So again, I got most of it, but who knows if that thing would have pulled back, right? So don't just keep all your money on the table and wait for a miracle, because you might not get it. It's better to take profits at different levels, but hopefully you have enough money where you can, maybe take a third here, take a third here, take a third here. But in my case, I took half and half. But I made money. It was a good trade. Right now, we are breaking, we're pulling back right at that 261.8 retracement, which is the retracement of that August to September decline. And, we're still in overbought territory with the RSI. The volume is bullish, so it's still pretty bullish. The 200-day is bullish. So all the signs are bullish, but we are up here at these extended highs, and as we can see, the pattern in the past has been pullback, breakout, pullback, breakout. So I think we are definitely in the mood. What's the word? Yeah, whatever. We're in store for another one of those triangle pullbacks to that trend line, and we might see a breakout in a couple of months. So right now, again, Litecoin, Dashcoin, not really good entry points. The move was in the last couple weeks. If you missed it, no, don't worry about it. There'll be other chances. If there are no more chances, then the whole experiment is doomed and everything's going to zero. But I don't think that's going to happen. If we look at all the altcoins, yeah, some of them didn't, like Neo kind of went sideways. Vertcoin, VTX broke out of this consolidation, but now it's just consolidating again, kind of like Ethereum. OMG, similar thing, right? It broke out of this consolidation, but it's just going sideways. PivX was actually a pretty nice trade. If we caught that, we've been waiting for a couple months in this consolidation range. We did break out. We got up to almost 650, and but now we're still consolidating in this range. But if we notice, it's in the context of an upward channel. So that's kind of also what we're seeing with Litecoin and Dash, right? I mean, we're consolidating, or we're pulling back off of highs, but we are easily still within these channels, upward channels in bullish trends. So their bullish trend is intact. So barring a greater correction in the crypto space, we're still seeing a lot of bullish trends. Fun, kind of consolidating sideways here underneath this 45-cent level. If that breaks out, we could easily see 50 to 100% rise. ARK, yeah, we still looked at ARK again, going sideways. All the altcoins are basically, all the shit coins people say are basically going sideways at the moment. They broke out, they're going sideways. We could see breakouts, but right now all is quiet on the crypto front. Large caps, oh, we didn't look at Ripple. Yeah, Ripple is another disappointment so far. It's just been going sideways. And remember, guys, if you missed the move, then you basically lost as well, right? So, okay, you didn't lose any money, but it's opportunity cost, right? Ripple is another amazing consolidation here, months-long consolidation. And when this baby breaks out, it's going to go high. But when it's going to break out, I don't know. We got a couple of weeks to go before we reach the apex of that triangle. So Ripple is another one I'm watching keenly. And that's basically what we have. We have coins that have broken out and have reached highs like Litecoin and Dash and Bitcoin. And we have other coins that didn't really break out yet, like Ripple and Ethereum. And then we have altcoins where they've broken out, but they're consolidating, or they weakly broke out and they're consolidating as well sideways. So right now, altcoins don't look so interesting, but there are a couple plays that could pop up, like in Ripple and Ethereum, waiting for those breakouts. Bitcoin, is it a good entry? Well, again, as always, if you're holding it for the long term, then it could be a good buy, right? Because if it goes to 20,000 or 50,000, then yeah, it's a good buy. But in terms of a trade, I would still wait for a pullback to maybe the 12,000 or 10,000 level. Or we see how this develops. If we see a good consolidation up here at 15,000, right? If we see a triangle up here form, then we just wait for a breakout of that and we are bullish again. But that bullish trend is intact, and basically we're just consolidating in the coming weeks, see what happens with these futures, and as more information comes to the fore, I will be back online. And I thank you guys a lot for watching this crypto chart update. Peace.